It is 6 a.m. and Denver7 is your home for the election. From historic voter turnout in Colorado.
We're also seeing this year an interesting twist in the timing of returns.
To the contentious race for the White House.
We are going to win 4 more years in the White House.
We're coming together for a big win tomorrow.
We have team coverage to get you out the door.
In-person voting centers open in less than an hour in Colorado, and ballots are already being counted in our state.
We could have almost 80% of ballots reported when the polls close tonight, but a lot depends on how many ballots are cast in person today.
Plus, we have tips to make sure your vote and your voice is heard. Many of them very easy. They can be completed through your phone. We'll have more details coming up. Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us on Election Day. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Molly Hendrickson. We want to get right out to meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo. We have a beautiful day for anyone headed out to vote or drop off their ballots this morning, Lisa.
Yeah, no weather worries. You can get there easy. We've got a lot of sunshine, though, this morning, so sun glare is going to be an issue for that eastbound drive. A really pretty shot. This is from our Viero camera there in Brush, and you can see just how pretty it is out on the eastern plains. Lots of sunshine today. If your kids are one of the few that are heading off to school this morning and getting to the bus early on, we're going to see temperatures in the 40s, even some 50s in neighborhoods early on. Pretty mild. They're going to want a sweatshirt this morning, but this afternoon, not necessary. Low to mid 70s by the time they're getting off the bus and heading home, walking home. A beautiful day. In fact, a great day to bike to school if they want to. We've got temperatures down across southeastern Colorado, closer to 80 degrees. It is warm, almost summer-like conditions to the southeast, and more 50s and 60s for the mountains. Coming up, we're tracking a change. It's not until this weekend. So we've got warm, dry weather, Jason, through Friday, but it looks like our Monday morning commute could be a little icy. Details coming up.
Now we have one problem spot down to the south side of town, and it is on the southbound side of I-225 trying to join I-25. Take a look from the camera, and unfortunately traffic is backing up nearly back to Parker Road. They just cleared it just moments ago. They actually are just flying away. So the flashing lights right there. So they just opened all lanes now, which is good news. Now we're going to start to see this traffic coming down from Parker Road ease up. The travel time right now coming down from there is about 10 minutes overall, so it's going to jump up and then jump down as you get your way to the Denver Tech Center. The rest of the commute just starting to get a little busy here and there. We did have one problem downtown at Colfax and Pearl with a police investigation down there. You still might find some restrictions just a couple blocks east of the Capitol.
Thanks, Jason. Polling locations open at 7 across Colorado, but millions of you have already cast your ballots. In the latest update from the Colorado Secretary of State's office, more than 2.7 million Coloradans have returned their ballots. That is nearly 3 in 4 active voters across our state. And if you're still wanting to vote in person, polls are open from 7 to 7. The Denver Elections Office will be very busy all day long receiving and counting ballots. They have this network of cameras live streaming on YouTube where you can watch the entire process in action.
And the Secretary of State's office says it plans to have almost all ballots in Colorado counted by tonight. County clerks across the state have already started the counting process. Denver7's Nicole Brady joins us live from a ballot box at the Lone Tree DMV office this morning. And Nicole, with 75–80% counted, we could have a pretty good idea of Colorado's results, at least by tonight.
That's right. Colorado is not one of the states that is being watched very closely tonight. And part of that is we will have really good numbers in by tonight. As you said, 80% possibly being reported. And that's because counties here started counting the ballots and processing them 15 days ago. But we will still have people voting in person today and dropping off ballots. In fact, this morning we are already seeing polling workers coming into the Lone Tree Motor Vehicle office, getting ready to open the doors here to voters at 7 a.m. for those people who want to vote the old-fashioned or the traditional way in person today. Now, the Secretary of State, as you mentioned, said we will have a large number of results to report once the polls close tonight. But this year, she said, could be a little different than years past because of what we expect to be a record turnout. And it won't all end after today. In the days after Election Day, military and overseas ballots are still coming in. Signature discrepancies are also being resolved. So if there is a problem with your ballot, like a signature problem, you'll get notice of that and you'll have 9 days to cure that ballot until November 12th. There will also be a post-election audit before the vote is finally certified. almost a month from now on November 30th. And of course, again, no results will be reported till after the polls close at 7 tonight. We want to give everyone a chance to get out here and either drop off that mail-in ballot into a drop box or to come vote in person. And I do want to point out, read signs closely today. We already had someone try to drop a ballot in a paperwork box for motor vehicle paperwork. So just make sure you read all the signs and make sure your vote is counted today. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Good point. They look very similar. All right. Thanks, Nicole. If you are voting in person today, you should know you do not have to go to your neighborhood polling location. You can go to vote at any voting center in your county. You can find wait times online in some counties. For example, in Denver, go to denvervotes.org, click on current vote center wait times, and you'll get a map with wait times.
Several viewers contacted Denver7 worried they were targets of a scam. They say someone claiming to be with a political party told them there's a problem with their ballot. Denver7's Micah Smith is looking into this. And Micah, some of these phone calls are legitimate, making this extra tricky.
It is tricky, Molly. I know it may seem suspicious, a political party calling you saying, hey, there's an issue with your ballot. But in many of these cases, these phone calls are legitimate. After several voters reached out to Contact 7, we decided to look into the issue. They told us they received phone calls from Republicans and Democrats saying, hey, there's a problem with your ballot. But when we talked to Denver's clerk and recorder's office, they actually told us, again, these are legitimate. The public information officer for that office, Alton Dillard, told Denver7 political parties are also tracking ballots, and it's very possible that if they see an issue with your ballot, the party may reach out before the clerk and recorder's office notifies you.
They also have access to see if anyone has a ballot that needs to be cured. And so sometimes voters will hear from a party prior to getting the notification from us. In Denver, if you're signed up for Ballot Trace, you will actually get a notification as soon as we notice the issue.
Dillard says the clerk and recorder's office will also send out a letter right away letting you know if your ballot is unsigned or if there's another signature discrepancy. But he says if you do receive a phone call or if you have any worries about the status of your ballot, you should immediately call your local clerk and recorder's office. Reporting live, Micah Smith, Denver7.
Thank you, Micah. Across the country, take a look at this map. Political analysts say the presidential election could come down to these 6 key swing states. Pennsylvania, Arizona, Texas, Florida, Georgia, and Wisconsin will be the states to keep a close eye on as we move throughout the evening. ABC's Faith Abube joins us from our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. And Faith, we keep seeing the national polls at least favor Joe Biden.
Right. Good morning to you, Brian. According to the averages of all the national polls, Joe Biden is leading on this election day by about 8 points. But we know this race will actually be decided in those critical battleground states.
We are going to win 4 more years in the White House.
President Trump and Joe Biden heading into Election Day confident about their chances at the ballot box.
We're coming together for a big win tomorrow.
The Biden campaign spreading out across Ohio and Pennsylvania in the final hours, hoping to sway suburban voters who might be key to his election.
I know we are empowered. We are optimistic about our future.
In their closing message, Harris and Biden sharply criticizing the president's handling of the pandemic as new coronavirus cases rise in 49 states.
We're going to beat this virus. We're going to get it under control. And the first step to beating this virus is beating Donald Trump.
In a new internal memo obtained by the Washington Post, White House Task Force Coordinator Dr. Deborah Birx saying we're entering the most concerning and most deadly phase of this pandemic. But at a closing rally in Michigan, the president with a vastly different message.
They hate it when I say we're rounding the corner. It's going to end anyway, but the vaccine will make it go a lot quicker.
The president closing out his campaign behind Biden in the polls, but energized by large crowds.
This does not look like a second-place finish.
In Kenosha, Wisconsin, attacking the Supreme Court over its decision to allow ballots to be counted after Election Day in Pennsylvania and North Carolina.
We got a very horrible, horrible ruling from the Supreme Court of the United States.
With nearly 100 million ballots already cast, it could take days to determine the winner. But Biden says Trump can't stop the process.
The power to change this country is in your hands. And I don't care how hard Donald Trump tries.
And guys, as for what the candidates will be doing as the election results are coming in, we know the Biden campaign will be in Delaware watching from there. Meanwhile, the president will be here in D.C. at the White House with about 400 friends and family to celebrate. In Washington, Faith Abube, Denver7.
And as you mentioned, we will wait to see how long it takes to name an official winner. Thank you, Faith.
And make sure to tune in to Denver7 for updates throughout the day. We'll have complete coverage from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. At 5 p.m., we'll be checking in with ABC News here on air as polls close on the East Coast. And starting at 6, join us for our uninterrupted coverage on our streaming platforms with live results and analysis throughout the night. Just search Denver7 on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV.